Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for you today. And in this one we're going to be taking a closer look at the Strategist Card changes to the artifact that will be happening with the release of episode 38, Wonderverse. So a little bit ago I produced a video showing the disparity between Precision and Might procs on the Strategist Card and how much of a gap there was in terms of how it scaled. Batuba saw that video and increased the Might procs by 10%. And then basically this is what the results are going to be. He also changed it so before the Strategist card for Might did not show up in the combat log. It showed up on the parser, like you could see the damage, but in the actual combat log analyzer, which is a very helpful tool that is available to PC players to be able to use, it did not. So it basically, the precision side did. So it showed up as tactical advantage, and then the Might showed up as under Strategist card. So if you're on live server right now and you go to your combat log, it'll say like, you know, Fami's Strategist card procced for 7,000. It's not going to say, we're now on test server, it's going to say Tactical Advantage procced. So it's the same thing, shows up in the combat log, which is great. I'm going to show you why that's useful in a moment. Just have some sorcerer parsing going on in the background. I'm not doing weapon taps, so all the white damage you see is the Strategist procs. And then I'm sitting at, in terms of Might, I think I'm 79k in this. I can't remember exactly, but it's around that figure. So is this buff going to make it so that Might is a lot stronger, or does it bring it even close together with Prec? No, there's still that gap. It's not as wide, but I mean 10% is still 10%, so we're still getting closer. We're still closing that gap. And then what this also does is presents a situation where the Strategist card may be useful in more single target situations, because usually single target wasn't the best for Strategist. You want to have AoE, so you have multiple procs at once, going at once, where there's other artifacts that may be more beneficial. But now that it shows up in the combat log, we can actually test that. So let me show you here. Okay, so what you're looking at now is the DCUO log analyzer. I've showed this plenty of times in the past. If you aren't aware of it, I'll link the website in the description. Unfortunately, it's only available to PC players because the PS players cannot extract their log. So basically, you go into your documents, DC Universe Online, game logs, or I think it's logs and then game logs, and you'll see combat at the top. And then basically you copy and paste that, or you can submit the whole thing. And then basically it'll pull up a snapshot of what you just did. So all that sorcery parsing you just saw me doing, this is what it looked like here in actual raw numbers. So you can see Vengeance, Shard of Life, Tactical Vengeance, that's the Strategist proc, Final Ruin, and Amplified Heat Vision. So basically all my parsers, I did about roughly 12 parsers, 10 seconds each. And out of that 12 parsers, the Strategist card proc for 76 times. The minimum was 6548, maximum was 17436. Average is about 12. And I got 654,000 damage. So basically 655 with a crit rate of 50. So that means about half of them were the crits and half of them were the regular procs. So it's still 655,000 damage in 120 seconds. It's 120 seconds DPSing, 12 parsers of 10 seconds. So in that time, I got all that damage just from the Strategist card proc with Might. So obviously, yes, precision is going to be a lot higher because the Strategist benefits from something that's multi-hit. So Shard of Life is going to be dots, Amplified Heat Vision is going to be dots, Final Ruin is going to be dots. Vengeance is just there because it's basically a tornado pull. It's like a sorcery's tornado pull. So you want something to be able to have a lot of dots to be able to proc Strategist card, which is why precision is so handy, because Flurry Shot's always multi-hits, Doomson's multi-hit, so there's never an issue proccing the Strategist card. Where some Might power sets, like take a look, for example, like Atomic Might. Like you're not going to be able to do that with Atomic Might because it's all burst damage. You're not going to have enough procs. Where you take something, you take a look at even like Hard Light. Hard Light's a lot of burst too. That's why people are mixing in jump canceling the regular Heat Vision out to just get some burning dots. Because normally it's just going to be Grasping Hand and Hand Clap, which is enough, but it's not quick enough succession of dots to be able to proc Strategist card. So it kind of leads to that situation where you have the advantage to run this artifact now. Most people already have it leveled for AoE because it's one of the strongest ones. It actually probably is the strongest artifact for AoE. So you have that leveled now. You don't necessarily have to level a brand new artifact for single target, which most people did the Gnorum. So it's one of those situations where it's a little bit slightly buffed. So we'll take a look at the actual numbers here. So basically, that's all the hits, moves. You don't need to really see that. Parser summaries. Sorcery, you can still pull up some 50s depending on the crits. So now let's take a look at the actual numbers here. So this is the actual before. So this is the one you would have saw in my previous video, which I can link that as well. And then this is after. So I didn't test everything because that just wouldn't be too much. So basically I did 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. They weren't exactly the same because it's impossible for me to match exactly what I had before because I got all different gear. But they're pretty close, like 80,727 to 770. You know, that's 50 mite difference. That's not enough going to be to cause an issue. Same thing, that's like 100 mite. That's like 100 mite. That's 100 mite. A couple hundred mite there. So it's not enough mite to make that much of a difference in the ticks. There might be a slight change, but obviously since it's a small sample size anyway, it's going to be like that anyway. So what did I see? Pretty much the 10%. There's some numbers that were lower, like 7, 8, 7, a 6 there. But once again, this is a small sample size that could even out. Some I saw a little bit higher, like 12, 13. But pretty much it was dead on, like 10, 10, 10, 9, 11, 10, 10, 11, 10, 10. So what Butube is saying is correct. That is what's happening. And basically this is what you can expect now on live server when this DLC launches sometime in August. You'll be able to have that. So it's just something that now that we have the strategist card in the combat log, so now that we can actually keep track of this, it's greater testing that I can do because I can now test if Lamort is going to be worth it. So basically Lamort doesn't do any damage until 35%, but if the 35% is so strong that it basically balances out running a strategist the entire time, then I can say, hey, you get a little bit higher might with Lamort, but it's more beneficial for single target than strategist because look at how many, the difference between the strategist procs and the Lamort proc. So it just opens up a lot more avenues for testing. It's something that necessarily you won't be able to see. It's helpful, like a 10%, great, love it. But for testers, it opens up a whole new avenue, being able to see it in the combat log finally. I can do a lot more testing to see how much actual damage we're getting over the course of a raid. Because if you were parsing right there, and you did like 10 or 12 parses, whatever, in the combat log on the sparring target, you probably wouldn't have thought that it did almost 700k damage. You're probably thinking like most of your damage is probably from the finisher and amplified heat vision, which is correct, but you're getting more damage from Vengeance, or less damage from Vengeance and Shard of Life and Robot Psychic, because Robot Psychic was 400k damage. So you're probably thinking, yeah, I'm getting a lot of damage from Robot Psychic, but no, it was almost 300,000 more damage than basically 250 more damage than Robot Psychic. So it's just something that you couldn't see this before. You could probably guess it, but you didn't know exactly until now. So very helpful. I just wanted to bring you guys a quick update, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Any questions or concerns, put them in the comment section below.